show, so get rocking up.
So let me break it all down for you.
I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up.
Taking that crown from you.
A little bit of the bubbly. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back, I'm the FPL Penguin. This is a special video. 400 plus subscribers on the FPL Penguin account. I'm well chuffed with that, thank you so much. And also, hope you enjoy this collaboration video with these amazing FPL YouTubers who've joined me in this video and to make this video, should we say, for Gaming 30 Plus for the return of the season. So cheers guys, here's to 500 subscribers and the return of the Premier League season as well. Cheers guys. A little bit of the bubbly.
Video. Here we go. Game week 30 plus team. He's probably put it up here or over here. But what I do know is up here, I've got the Penguin Bob. Got to dress like the Penguin if you're on the Penguin video. So the team, Game week 30 plus, I've got a rubbish rank. So I'm going all out. I'm playing the free hit. All double Game week players. Triple Villa. Triple Sheffield United. Triple Arsenal. Triple Man City. Aguero captain. Let's have it. Let's go! Go, 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 go.
Hey guys, and hey FPL Penguin, it's Brett here from FPL TV, and Penguin has kindly asked me to give my thoughts and potential team for Game Week 30 plus. Now, since the game launched a week ago, I've been weighing up whether I use the unlimited transfers that have been given to us, or do I instead use the free hit chip that I've got left. And I'm leaning more towards using the free hit now. I've not activated it yet, but I think that's where I'm going to go. And an important point in that decision is that I personally don't have the wild card in hand to fall back on, basically. So in Game Week 30, as we know, Man City, Arsenal, Sheffield United and Villa, they all have a double game week. Therefore, lots of incentive for us to get those players in. Now, with the unlimited transfers, I could get some of their players, like De Bruyne, Aguero, Aubameyang, you know, double or triple Sheffield United defence, Jack Grealish, etc. But if I get those with unlimited transfers and I don't have my wild card intact, I'm basically stuck with them for the long term, and I don't have that wild card to bail me out from that team, which is a luxury that other managers have. So if I do want the coverage of those players for this double game week, then for me the free hit is the way to go. It's not ideal because I don't get to utilise the unlimited transfers, but at least it allows me to really attack this big double game week, you know, get the likes of Aguero and De Bruyne and Aubameyang in my side, before then reverting to my old team. And looking at my old team for Game Week 31, which is what I'll get back, it's not actually too bad. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go with it, and that's my reasoning why. Aside from the obvious picks, I would say I'm maybe going to take a punt on Billy Sharp up front for Sheffield United. He was in decent form before the break, and lots of people are looking at Aston Villa's Samatta. But I don't know, maybe a cheeky punt on Billy Sharp. Elsewhere, I think I'm going to stick with Fernandes of United in 30, even being on a free hit with a single game week. His form was ridiculous before the break, so I think I'm going to stick with him despite having a single game week, because it's always good not to overlook the single game week players. And then longer term, two players that I'm going to monitor. Sounds a bit obvious, but I'm going to look at Son and Kane of Spurs. Now, I know Spurs haven't done much to impress us this season. It's not been a good season for them. But in FPL, I mean, they're both back from injury now, and they're both differentials. So for someone like me who's got a pretty poor rank, Kane is 8% owned and Son is 5% owned. So after I've used the 3 hit in 30, I'm definitely going to eye those two up as potential differentials for me, and strong differential captain choices for the future game weeks. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Game Week 30 Plus and a couple of players that I'm looking at. Hopefully it was helpful. Good luck to everyone for the rest of the season, and take care. Catch you soon.
Hello there, it's Steve-O here from the Elite FPL podcast, and Penguin has asked me to do a quick short video to discuss my Game Week 30 team and other players that may be taken into consideration moving forward from Game Week 31 onwards. For people like myself, I'm in a bit of a privileged position where I have all my chips left to play, so I'm going to be playing it maybe a bit different to quite a lot of people. I will be essentially doing all in, give or take, regarding the game week 30 fixtures, taking advantage of the double game week teams, specifically with, well, Arsenal, Man City and Sheffield United. I'm going to be moving forward with a 3-5-2 with this particular game. I do think, though, that 3-5-2 is probably one of the better formations to be having, as obviously midfielders give you the most points. I am pretty much going heavy into Man City. I'm choosing to go with the three big ones: De Bruyne, Sterling, Aguero. I think personally that they are the three best options to be choosing. Key to Man City, I'm not personally concerned about rotation per se. I do think later on, for the regarding game weeks, I do think the rotation will come into play. But I do think that the opening couple of games, that the majority of Man City's teams will be pretty much full strength, and I do think all three, De Bruyne, Sterling, Aguero, will feature heavily. The other players being Bulldog, Egan and Fleck. I don't want to go too heavy on triple Sheffield United defence, just simply because I don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet. I do think that there's a chance they'll probably get there's a higher chance of getting a clean sheet versus Newcastle, but versus Aston Villa I can see that being 2-1 either way. Against Newcastle that could be like a drab 0-0 or 1-0 either way. Aubameyang, got to take the big hitters from Arsenal, and Aubameyang's guaranteed to start. I was discussing on the show yesterday whether or not we're overlooking Aubameyang as captain, but personally I just think I'm going to go with Aguero, mainly because Aubameyang, it's just a City game, and Aguero at home in both of his games versus Arsenal and Burnley, I think has got the best opportunity, in my opinion, from the options that I've got to get the best points return. As you can probably see, I'm actually using triple captaincy. That's another reason why I'm not doing the free hits, because I do want to utilise the triple captaincy. I think this is the best opportunity to be using it, as there's going to be no other game weeks specifically over the next 9. So I think that it's just best for me to use my triple captaincy now, get it out the way, and then I'll be on the same level playing predominantly as most people. A few single game week players in there with Alexander-Arnold and Fernandes. They're pretty self-explanatory, to be honest with you. The reason why I got Fernandes, though, is actually because originally I was going with Saka and Henderson, but I just realised, why am I going with like a decent? I had a decent bench at the time, so I had Henderson in goal, I had Leno on the sub bench, I had Wan-Bissaka, I had Fernandes of Newcastle, and I also had Connolly of Brighton. And I thought there's quite a bit of money in the bench there where I won't actually be playing any of them, so I may as well just utilise the most amount of money that I've got into my starting 11. And I bolstered up Saka to Fernandes, which I think is an excellent choice, and that's not just for this particular game, it's just moving forward. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I can't get rid of him, there's too much value in him. I'd lose 0.4 value on him as well, so I'd rather just keep him in. He's an excellent choice anyway. I think moving forward regarding players in this 9 game week period, I think sticking to talisman. My opinion being is that if you stick with the talisman of each team, you pretty much got it sorted. I think all defences will be sticking predominantly to the same players. We all know who they are, whichever team it may be. I think it's from an attacking point of view. That's the high risk of rotation. But the good thing is that we're all in the same boat. But I certainly do think, like, for instance, players like Aubameyang, he is the main striker at Arsenal. I think moving forward, he is one of the best options. Players like Jimenez, Jota, maybe even Danny Ings of Southampton, depending on how much Southampton got to play for. Martial, Fernandes, Rashford, they're players of United to obviously move forward with. I mean, my free hit afterwards, after this specific double game week 30, I'm going to be wildcarding, ironically, back to the team which I was initially coming in with, which was, off the top of my head, it was Ings, Jota, Jimenez, midfield of Mane, Salah, Saka, Martial and Fernandes, and I had a back five of Fernandes, Wan-Bissaka, Alexander-Arnold, Egan and Baldock, and then in goal I had Henderson and Pope. And I reckon I'll probably be more than likely going to be going into the game week 31 with a wild card looking like that. But I do think that moving with this whole situation that we're in at the moment, I do think that sticking with key players for each of their teams is the best way to go. All I will say is that cheers Penguin for inviting me on to do this specific video, and I hope that people have enjoyed it. Other than that, I'm Steve-O and I'm of the Elite FPL podcast. So cheers guys, and I'll see you soon.
Hello everybody, Triple F here with my Game Week 30 plus team draft, so to speak, for FPL Penguins channel. So here it is. Starting off in goal, I've gone for Crystal Palace's Gaeta. Quite a good goalkeeper to clock up save points. Also, he's clocked up a lot of points this season and fairly budget option. So that's why I've got him in with Stecklenburg as a low budget enabler. So set and forget for me with my goalkeepers. Moving into the defence, I've gone for Lord Lundstram. And no, I haven't done it because of his 2 goals. I actually put him in before thinking he'll do well, and then he scored 2 goals in a friendly, so it just makes me think he's a definite choice for my team, so he'll be locked in there. Then I've gone with his teammate Ender Stevens in the defence as well, also clocking up some nice points for that Sheffield United defence. And obviously them 2 Sheffield United players in a double game week there, so plenty of team points to be taken there. And then I've got Wolves, Saiss in my defence. Bolly's on my bench at the moment. That might change depending on who I think can get forward better. I mean, it might possibly be Bolly, so Bolly will go into the starting lineup, but just so you know, I've got both of them Wolves assets. Then in the midfield, of course, we've got KDB. I think most teams do have KDB. I don't see how you can go without him, really. And is a double game week for Man City and Arsenal as well as Aston Villa. But I don't have any Aston Villa options. I'm not interested in Grealish. I don't want to go there with any of them. I don't feel like their points will be that good. And then I've got another Sheffield United option in there in John Fleck. So he's a double game week for Sheffield United, getting on the score sheet in a friendly. So could be a nice little budget option there, most definitely. And then I've got Liverpool's Sadio Mane as well, so hopefully he does the business for me. He looked fresh in Liverpool's pre-season. And then I've got Tammy Abraham up front for Chelsea. Think that he'll be very hungry, and under Lampard I think he's got Chelsea ticking nicely there. With Werner coming in later, I think Abraham's going to have to say, I need to score here. The guy's coming in, I need to still say I'm number 1 round here. Even though I am aware that Werner can play off of Tammy in the same team, he'll still be needing to do that. Also playing against his old club, Aston Villa. Probably got a bit of a point to prove, as many players do when they return to play their old teams. Now, I didn't go for Lacazette. I didn't go for Aubameyang, sorry. I actually swapped out for Lacazette instead. I think Lacazette looks a bit more sharper. I know his touch gave away a goal to Brentford. It was a sloppy touch, but as in going forward, he does look very sharp. Scored an absolute boomer against Charlton. That was a rocket, and I know he's capable. So I think that coming off of Aubameyang on the wing, Lacazette might be more crucial, picking up the points early on. And obviously double game week player. And then I've got Diogo Jota in up top for Wolves. I think that he's a great differential option because most people will be turning to Raul Jimenez. So I've opted for Jota just to be that bit differential. And then on my bench, Martial and Johnny Evans. I think Martial's had a great pre-season, linking up well with Bruno Fernandes, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said. Although I might try and get Bruno Fernandes in, and as I say, my team can change. It is a draft, guys. Anything can happen here. So that about wraps up my team. So I'm sure it will change, but there you go.
Hey, Holly Shand here from Fantasy Football Community. I'm busy setting up my team for game week 30 plus. Having recently wildcarded, I've decided to use the free hit chip in game week 30 plus because I feel like my side is pretty well set up for the rest of the season anyway, and I really want to attack the double game week. So that means going with 12 double game week players, 11 on the pinch, 1 on the bench from Aston Villa. So from Man City, I'm going with Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero and Raheem Sterling. Kevin De Bruyne's probably going to be my captain as well. Hopefully Pep rotation is not too cruel to me. Looking elsewhere from Arsenal, Aubameyang, you kind of have to have him. He's the best asset from that side. I'm also including Pepe and Leno. Pepe is not my favourite FPL player, but I'm hopeful that in a 2-game period he can get me something. He's certainly got a lot of assist potential at the moment, and I'm hoping Arsenal can keep a clean sheet against Brighton. Looking elsewhere at Sheffield United, I've gone for a triple up in defence. I had to have John Lundstrom. He may not be the wisest choice, but he was certainly most appealing. And then I've gone for the wing backs for some potential of attacking returns in George Baldock and Ender Stevens. And then finally, from Aston Villa, I've currently got Samatta and Jack Grealish with Douglas Luiz on my bench, but I am still considering going with John McGinn. So I've seen some good reports that he's had a good off-season, so he is in my thoughts, but it would probably have to be him over Samatta and maybe going for a 3-5-2. I don't know if I can quite afford it at the moment, so I may need to jiggle some funds around. In terms of the players that I like the look of the rest of the season, I've got some Wolves players in my side, Raul Jimenez and Matt Doherty, who I think will do very well. I've also got Diogo Jota in my side at the moment, but I feel like Tammy Abraham would probably be a better use of funds in attack. Because Jota's a bit more of a form player, and Chelsea have got some great fixtures, and Tammy Abraham certainly got a point to prove with a potential new signing coming in at Chelsea. The rest of the team is fit, so that should be quite exciting to see. I'm also quite excited to see how Spurs will line up with everyone fully fit, and also Manchester United. I've got Bruno Fernandes at the moment, but Marcus Rashford could easily come into my side as well. And I think Paul Pogba could be a great differential. It'll be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sets up with all of his key attackers available. The other team that I think could be okay is the Burnley Defense. I've got Nick Pope and Charlie Taylor in my non-free hit team at the moment, so I'm interested to see how they perform. But it may be good to go for a few differentials from the teams that are battling relegation, so the likes of Timu Pukki. Todd Cantwell is still the best fifth midfielder in my opinion, and he's in my lineup at the moment. Maybe look at Callum Wilson as well, because I know Bournemouth have got a tall order when it comes to staying up, and he is going to have to be central to any success that they might have. So there's lots of good options for the rest of the season beyond just the sides that have a double game week. There's also some great differentials, those players back fit, which will make for an intriguing end of the season. It's great to be back, it's great to have the football back, and I wish you all good luck for the rest of the season.
Stop the show, so get backing up.
So let me break it all down for you.
I ain't never giving up, I ain't never
You know
giving
I'm taking that crown from you.
I ain't
A little bit of the bubbly.